Hello everyone. Now in this session we are going to discuss about the effect of adoptions. Adoption is something which creates rights in between the parties. The adoptive parents become the parents of the child, and the child who was nowhere connected becomes the natural, it is equivalent to the natural born child. And that is why the rights which are created in between the parties and the complications which may happen because of the natural born family and the adoptive family has been clarified in this topic of effect of adoptions. An adopted child shall be deemed to be the child of his or her adoptive father or mother for all purposes with effect from the date of adoption, and from such date all the ties of the family of his birth shall be deemed to be severed, and all the ties of the family of his adoption will replace those ties, provided that a child cannot marry any person whom he or she could not have married if he or she had a continued in the family of his or her birth. That means the prohibited degree of relationships and the Sapinda relationships remain the same for Hindu Marriage Act purposes. Secondly, any property which is vested in the adopted child before the adoption shall continue to vest in such person, subject to the obligations, if any, attaching to the ownership of such property, including the obligation to maintain the relatives in the family of his or her birth. That means, till the day of adoption, whatever property was vested in the child, though not actually delivered to the child, will continue to be the child's property. No one can divest the child his of his own property just because he has been adopted in another family. Similarly, the adopted child cannot divest any person from the estate which vested in him or her before the adoption of this child in the adopted family. So, the way in which the child's claims in his own family property remain, if at all those claims are vested interest claims, in the same way, the effect is the same for all the other family members of the adoptive family with reference to the property which is vested in them before this adoption. The adoptive parents have a right to dispose of their properties just like any other parents can dispose of their property even without not giving any single property to their own natural born child. In the same way, the adoptive parents are not under any obligation to transfer all their property only to the adoptive child. They can dispose of any of their properties because basically adoption is not a relationship of owning property or transferring property. These are two different things which are there under the Hindu law. Thank you very much.